welcome to this relegation special of Hair of the Dog. The day after match review, which no doubt is a day late because I took the advice far too literally and just got steaming fucking drunk. It was shit, wasn't it? It was fucking wank. As always, the light-hearted, satirical match review will be at the end, where we actually look back at the game. Let's have a look at some serious bits. I mean, is there any good bit? Like, I'm lost for words. It was that bad. It was just that fucking bad. Let's look at the stats from the game.
Looking at the stats, it's not hard to see where things went wrong, really, is it? Look at that possession. Barely touched the ball all game. Too many fouls, although, to be quite fair, theirs was the biggest foul of the game and it wasn't even awarded. Not even expected to score a full goal, and shots on target is a bit of a joke now. We let them have 15 shots on goal. It's just not getting any better, is it? And to me, worst performance this season.
I mean, when you look at that, what more is it to say other than it's just over now, innit? That's it. I accept it. In my view, I just put kids out. When Sander and Jack O'Connell come back, don't put them out. I don't risk them fucking further in their injuries. Just send kids out. Fuck it. Anyway, let's have a look at the results from the weekend and the league table, I suppose. That's a good idea, innit? Let's do that.
Friday night saw Nuno's Wolves defeat Dirty Leeds. As shit as things are for us at the minute, always nice to see Leeds lose. Results from Saturday. Southampton drew 1-1 with Chelsea, good result for Southampton. Burnley and West Brom could only manage a 0-0. That does help Burnley get further away from the drop zone. Everton won the Merseyside derby 2-0. Klopp blamed Wilder in the after comments. And that was it. There were no other games that day. None at all. No other football was played. Swear to God. Results from Sunday. West Ham beat Spurs 2-1 as them bubble-blowing buggers carry on their march for the top four. Villa lost 2-0 to Leicester. Manchester City continue their charge for the title with a 1-0 win against Arsenal. Man United gave themselves a 3-1 victory over Newcastle, who look to be getting dragged further and further into this relegation fight. Looking at the table, Manchester City now on 59 points, 10 points clear of second. Title's theirs, isn't it? I don't think anybody else is even going to come close to catching him. Leicester and West Ham take third and fourth. Good for both them. Surprising packages this season, really. Liverpool in sixth. Going to the bottom half of the table, I'm not even going to talk about it, because as we all know, the first rule of relegation club is you do not talk about relegation club.
Right, before we get to the match review, I'm so enthusiastic, aren't I? Before we get to the match review, if you did like this video, if you do like the little review at the end, and you do like everything else we do, please subscribe to the channel, please click that little bell notification so you stay tuned for everything we do in the future, and please, please, please follow us on social media. Before we get to the match review, let's have a quick look at what else is coming up.
As always, Roy's got the view from, and this week it's a turn of the Fulham fans. It makes smug reading, unfortunately. Coming tomorrow, we've got the What the Fuck Went Off show, with fan reactions, giving their verdict on the Sheffield United performance. And if you've not watched it already, head over to the Sheffield United way and give their Fulham match reaction a watch. Let's shift on to what's coming up soon. Roy will have the pre-match view from the Liverpool fans. Can't wait for that one, because Liverpool fans always talk sense. The Dean Hammond podcast is out now. If you haven't listened to that, go over to the Sheffield United way and listen to it. Very enlightening. Such a good podcast, and will change a lot of opinions on this guy. Coming soon on our channel, we've got our chat with Bob Booker. Really interesting, really good listen. Bob's a quality bloke. And of course, you've got your weekly Sheffield United podcast. Tufty Club, Blades Pod, and 4 Blades in a Pub will no doubt keep you entertained until the next match day. To be honest, don't watch the next match, just listen to these. You'll be a lot more entertained than what we've been fucking stuck with.
Right, we'll put it off long enough. Hit the match review.
Well, that's an hour and a half of my life I'm never getting back. And the only time I'm ever happy about losing an hour and a half of my life is after waking up in a seedy hotel bathtub, covered in vomit, with an empty bottle of Sambuca in one hand and other chained to a cheap dwarf prostitute whose real name turns out to be Colin, not Kelly.
Oh man! Oh God! Oh man!
For all this season's failures, along with our problems and misfortunes, it's of no surprise that as the end of the season fast approaches, every cruel twist of fate that's still possibly presenting itself will indeed do so. Less of a turning punch bowl and more of an unwanted finger in the arsehole. As much as that uninspiring, awful, boring, lacklustre, infuriating and quite bluntly shit performance shows that any hope of us pulling off a Steve McQueen is about as likely as Diane Abbott becoming a successful booker.
We believe it'll be about £300,000.
£300,000 for 10,000 police officers? What are you paying them?
It also blatantly highlights everything currently wrong at this club. And while right now these issues are only simmering, if they're not addressed quickly, 4 previous seasons of hard work, goodwill and joy are in danger of being undermined and destroyed, and a legacy being tarnished with downfall. We could lose a manager who, in my view, has surpassed Dave Bassett as arguably the best we've ever had. But why was the Fulham defeat so bad? Well, dear viewers, allow me to illuminate you as we look back at this review, which I like to call Cottaging. So we start with the lineup. The first glaringly obvious problem is the absence of David McGoldrick. Why? Don't know. Him missing means that we'll lack any kind of attacking output, other than lumping it up to McBurney, who struggles to do anything other than jog in that general direction. But Johnny, you humble yet surprisingly wise and virile specimen of a man. McGoldrick missed some right sitters in that last game, more than anyone. How can dropping him be a mistake? Well, hypothetical, convenient, narrative, objective person, I'll gladly give you an explanation to initially back up my point and answer your conveniently timed pretend question. He may have missed the most chances, but he's the only person who consistently gets himself into positions to miss or score. Let's not forget, amongst all this, he's our leading goal scorer. He's also one of the key factors in any threatening moves we do actually conjure up in a game. After all, last season, amongst all our success stories, Dids' goal scoring record were abysmal. Yet, he was one of the most essential figures. There's a reason he's referred to as a Rolls Royce. Of course, the back line and midfield is as badly cobbled together as a French war plan. But with the amount of personnel unavailable, this is unwelcome and unavoidable reality that we have to get used to. Of course, in that first half, we touched the ball less than Joseph touched Mary. A few gentle strokes here and there, but mainly we went with that, and there was definitely no penetration.
Mother of God.
If it weren't for the shots of Red Bull in my glasses of cheap Jägermeister imitation drink and drain cleaner cocktails, I would have been asleep by 15 minutes into the game. Second half were no better. The game itself was about as likely to see action as I am if I forget my wallet when meeting Tatiana in Caesars after a night of drinking Domestos and blackcurrant in Graves Park. Unfortunately, the football gods weren't happy with the sacrifice of John Egan's toe and decided that in hand they should smite Chris Basham. This of course led to Ampadu dropping into defence. And of course, when dealing with an attack from Lookman, he needed to be strong, decisive, and deal with it simply. But Ampadu was like, nah, it'll be fine. And he allowed him pass with ease, rivalling that of my ex. And Ramsdale, he then had it go through his legs, just to keep the ex references relevant. Fuck off, football. After going 1-0 down, there weren't no attacking swarm from us. We didn't load a proverbial catapult with a proverbial kitchen sink. We continued to stick to our game plan of causing less threat than a shot glass full of water in a forest fire.
Not a great plan.
Billy Sharp himself deviated from that game plan and played the sexiest of sexy passes into Paffa Stevens, who found himself in loads of space and one-on-one with keeper. Unfortunately, in regards to Stevens' shot, I hit my kids harder than he hit that. Little bastards. And other than the rare shining light that is Jayden Bogle coming on and being blatantly assaulted in the box, yet not being awarded a stonewall penalty and not even having VAR take a slightest looks, the game continued much as it did before. Boring, frustrating and lacking any kind of spectacle and fight. Full time, 0 points, and the realisation that the rest of the season is more pointless than a synagogue in Saudi Arabia. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. I'm off for a pint.